The All-Star Game is one of the biggest events all year in Major League Baseball, and it takes a lot of preparation to make sure those pro athletes are in tip-top shape for this big game. Here with some insight is someone who would know. Mariners Hall of Fame member and former Mariners catcher Dan Wilson, along with sports medicine doctor Hank Pelto from Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Thank you both for being here. So, Dan, I just got to ask you first, what do All-Stars in next week's game, what do they do to prepare for the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game?
Yeah, it is definitely something that's a little bit out of the norm. It's such a big, concentrated game in the middle of the week. It's actually, you know, kind of a rest period for baseball, so these guys are having to, you know, continue to be ramped up. And I think the Home Run Derby is unique in that we take batting practice a lot, but you're never in there more than about 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then, you know, during the Home Run Derby, it's 2 minutes, I think, or 3 minutes.
Woo.
And it's a lot of swings. It's a lot of work, actually, but they do get one timeout, so that's good. But I think more just than anything, it's just that you know, cardio work that needs to get done before those guys, so they get a chance to experience what 2 minutes is really like at swinging a bat.
Oh, that I can't. That's hard. I went camping and I swung an axe for like 20 seconds, and it was like, no, thank you. Look at these pictures of this guy playing here. I got to ask you, Dr. Pelto. I was mentioning kind of going up there, you know, doing things that we don't do every day, sometimes going on a hike. What can the everyday athlete do to prepare themselves for the normal things we do, a hike or a paddle?
I think hydration is huge, right? Make sure, and I think we talk about taking your water, especially hikes, getting out in the heat, making sure you're prepared is the fundamental piece of it. So, and not trying to do things too different. Like we were saying, these guys go up, at least they're swinging a bat, but they have done that before. But you want to try and make sure that you've trained and that you're doing things that you are kind of ready and prepared for, not going too far out of your kind of normal routine or the things that you're prepped already for.
Don't be a hero.
Don't be a hero. Yeah.
Don't try to do anything you shouldn't. Dan, what is the biggest thing you've noticed that has changed in the All-Star Game for the players?
Well, I mean, I think obviously the Home Run Derby has taken on, you know, kind of a new life. It was always a great thing and a lot of fun. I think that's the sort of the events that surround the All-Star Game have gotten so big and great. It's great for the fans. They've introduced the Major League Draft as well, so that's going on. There's all kinds of events going on around the Seattle area. So it's really a huge event outside of just the All-Star Game. So I think that's something that's really changed. But I love it. I mean, it's become, I think, way more accessible for fans and just makes for, you know, the entire community gets to sort of embrace what's to come here in the next week.
Oh, that's so fun. And there are so many great events going on. Dr. Pelto, let's talk about the sports medicine team and the experts. How can they give change from treating professional athletes to people like me? I mean, I know that's got to be two different spectrums, but it's the body, right?
Yeah, there is some spectrum there, but I think it's not as different as you would think it would be. I mean, the professional athletes have goals and hopes and things that they're aspiring for, just like any of us do. You do too. And so from my practice perspective, what I'd love to talk to people about is, what do you want to do? And what are you not doing that you want to get back to? How do we get you set up and prepared to continue to excel in the realm that you want to excel in? And that really kind of bridges a lot of gaps. It's the same for professional athletes. It's a different level of sport and a different level of competition and exercise, obviously, but fundamentally, we want to get you ready to do the things that you want to do, whether that's a long walk and a hike or whether that's winning the Home Run Derby.
Well, and I think especially too, as we age, it happens, and things don't start functioning as they do, like our knees. I mean, is this a great reason to come in and say, hey, you know, what can I do to help prolong the health of these certain body parts?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the things that's hardest for me to hear from people, is that they've long ago stopped doing the things that they want to do. So if something's bugging you, like you said, we get not younger, and as those things happen and change and you come up with issues, we want you to be able to do the stuff you want to do, and there's things that we can often do to help you continue to be active in the way that you want to be active for a really long time.
Thank you for that. I will I appreciate that as a semi-pro badminton player. But let's talk about the sports heroes right now, the major athletes. How does your team of sports medicine doctors get professional athletes ready for these big games? Like, what happens?
Well, I mean, I think it's an interesting point that Dan brought up before. There's so many other things happening around these big events, like media obligations that are different, autographs, all these different things. And from a medical perspective, really, we want to try and keep things relatively stable for people and just have them know that, hey, your medical team is still here for you. you for your prep and your warm-up, or if something doesn't feel quite right, we want to try and be kind of a constant for those guys in that way, and just make sure that they've still got those kind of fundamental medical prep conditioning things that they are used to and accustomed to get them ready to actually play. All this other chaos around them is happening, but we try and stay constant and be there to help them prep and get the stuff done that they know and have long practice and they know works for them.
And Dan, when you're an athlete, you know all the other stuff is kind of out there, right? Like focus, you're like, hey, I got to see my sports medicine guys.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are like immensely important. Like Doc said, getting prepared every single day to do what we do on the field. And you don't take the field without something hurting. I mean, the best day you feel is the first day of spring training. After that, it's like downhill from there.
Best day you feel.
You know, I think these guys have done such a great job of learning their craft, helping guys get back on the field, helping guys play with injuries that may have a nagging thing here or there. So Doc Pelto, his team, his whole staff, they do such a great job in keeping all of us on the field.
That's awesome. Before I let you go, what is your favorite part of the All-Stars?
I just love seeing all the big names on the jerseys. You know, that was one of the things that you know struck me as I walked into a clubhouse at an All-Star game, like just to see all the nameplates up there and all the best players in the game kind of coming into one place to play one game, and it's just you start looking around and see those names, and it's pretty impressive.
That's
and
cool.
It's a great moment.
And you were one of them, and you've been here on our couch, so thank you so much, Dan. Doc Pelto, can I call you that now?
Please, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks to both of you. And to schedule an appointment with the sports medicine physicians at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, please visit vmfh.org/Mariners. We've also got a link on our website, so easy peasy for you to find. Well, I hope y'all are hungry because coming up next, we're going to be serving a delicious dish, deviled eggs. And even if you don't like them, our recipes may convert you, so stick with us.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health.